Well, g'day folks. Today what we're going to do is have a look at how we can rectify a water leak that is coming from the 200 series Landcruiser front windscreen and down in under the passenger section of the vehicle, directly underneath the glove box. And we've been getting water dropping in from under the glove box down onto the carpet, and of course that's not going to be very good. So we've done some initial investigation and replaced the intake fresh air recirculating filter, which is sitting in the back of the glove box, and there are other videos that can show you how to remove that. And even after doing that and realizing that the filter itself is dry, that meant that the recirculating door, the curved door that comes down and locks off and closes off the intake for the fresh air inlet, was dry. That filter was dry, so it means the air is not getting past the seal that is around that section of the recirculating air system. So it must be coming from somewhere else. And after putting a lot of water on the top of the Landcruiser's windscreen, leaking it down from this corner and trying to push it down into this channel on the A-pillar, or dropping it down the window, letting it come down here and figuring out, what we've realised is we think that the problem is related to the seal that sits underneath this scotia. Now this scotia is easily removed. You simply just take out, unscrew a screw on this side and another screw on the other side, of course, and then you just lift it up, undoing those clips as you go. You just lift it up. You can see there's clips on the bottom there, and what I'll do is I'll just position the camera so you can see what we're doing here, and lift it up so you can see what I've unclipped it already by just lifting it up. Just push it upwards in that direction, all right, straight upwards. You've got clips here and a couple on the other side, and once you do that, the bottom of this can release. But of course, the first thing you got to do is undo the top little cover on the wipers, on each of the wipers. You just put a little screwdriver underneath the retainer cap at the end of the wiper and flip it up and pull it out and make sure you retain it safely so you don't lose it. And then undo the nut that holds the wiper on, you use a 14mm socket for that. And then as you want to take the wiper off, just put a bit of pressure on the base of the wiper and lift it up at the lever, and then it'll just come off by itself as simply as it goes on. Once you've got that taken off, you can simply just lift this scotia up and get it out of the way. Just take it out of the way altogether and just pop it out of the way. Now, let's just leave it there for the minute. And what we can now see is what's going on inside this vent system, all right? So what we have here, if I can get enough picture of it, we can see that we've got a cover. This cover here, this cover that my fingertip is on, that cover is the cover for the recirculating vent. So when you press the circulate or non-circulate button, that door rotates. But if you have a look on the side there, just turning around, you can see right at the very end, underneath this section, right at the very end, sorry about that, you can see this black rubber. It's not rubber, it's actually condensed foam, rubber seal that goes all the way around this entire box that's inside here. That's the top of the airbox that sits for the air conditioning system. And as a result, you see that, I'll come around the other side, see if you can see it as well. You can see that seal is sitting there, right under, at that point. So if you're not getting water coming in and contaminating the fresh air intake filter, that means that the seal on that door is okay, and it's possible that the seal that's just under here is not good. So what we've done is we've come up with a bit of a fix. What you could either do is you can either get it removed, and the only way to fix that problem if you're doing it with Toyota is to remove the entire dashboard. That is not only a tedious but very, very expensive job because it's so time consuming. So what we need to do is to create a solution that allows the water to flow off the windscreen. Just let me steady this video for you. Allows it to flow off the windscreen and down, and not come into this box at all. Not make it so that the water flows down off the windscreen and into this box. We want to make it so that there's a cover over the top of this whole bit, this whole section here, and then that the water then flows off the windscreen onto the cover and then into this channel where the water can flow away to the right and left side of the car. All right, so what we've done is we've come up with a solution made of 3mm acrylic board that's easily purchased. And if you give me a moment, I'll go and get it. And what I'll tell you exactly how we've made it and installed it. So here is the board that we've made. Now this board sits in that gap. You can see it's just there like that, right? And it's nothing but a flat piece of board, 3mm acrylic. It's actually a high impact polycarbonate, so it's really high temperature resistance, about 300 degrees resistant before it starts to bend. And you can hit it really hard because it's a really very, very solid product. And what we've done is we've shaped it to fit that space. And all we've done is we put some heat on the end of it, let it bend, and then bent this to this shape, because what we want to do is make it so that this gap here in this slot, you can see the slot here, right? That slot fits into this slot, right? You can see it fits into that slot. I'll take my arm out of the way, into this piece of metal, right? And then the rest of it lies off. Now, the problem is that we can't cover it and leave it completely shut off, otherwise you won't get air into your fresh air intake. So what you have to do is you have to provide a gap between this board and this surface in order to allow the air to flow under it, yet the water to flow off it. And what we've done with that is we've simply made some standoffs, and as you can see from these, all they are, these holes are already available in the metalwork. We've just put a Allen key on the bottom, or just an ordinary nut with another nut and washer on the top, then another nut and washer to adjust the height, another washer, and then on top of that goes the board. Same on the other side here, same as this one here. We just adjust the height so it caters for the board and the thickness, and then we simply just wait for a moment and I'll get that sorted. We simply just take this board and we insert it in the slot like that, nice and high, and then make it fit so that it sits on those screws like that. You see that? It's just sitting on those screws. Just sitting on those screws like that. Here's the screw, or the little bolts, little stainless steel. I've done it all in stainless steel, of course, so it doesn't rust, but you could choose to do it in galvanized metal. I wouldn't use normal metal screws, or just rust up. Then I'm using nylon washers both top and bottom everywhere, so there's no rust again. Put that on top of there to fill up a gap, and you just screw it up to the right height. Same as the other side, screw it up to the right height and put your nut on, and that's it. Simple as that. Now obviously you've got to tighten those nuts up and excuse me, tighten those nuts up and have it sitting, but you can see it's as solid as, it doesn't need anything else, it doesn't vibrate, doesn't sit there. But what we've got is, if I take it around here, you can see clearly that what we've got is an air gap running in here. So the water flows off the windscreen onto this table, down into this channel, runs away, but doesn't go into this airbox. And then what you do is you then take that scotia that we took off earlier, the black scotia, and you just drop it straight back in. And put your windscreen wipers back on. Reconnect, don't forget to reconnect your windscreen washer connectors with a little hose that's on the side, and that's it. It's as simple as it gets, and there's no other no other need to do anything else, just to divert that water, away from that windscreen, and that's what's fixed this problem. Now, I'm told that this is a relatively common problem with the 200 series Landcruiser. This one's a 2016-17 model, and once that rubber gets wet in the air conditioning box, then it just doesn't want to seal properly, and you fix this by doing this problem. If you want to get the diagram for this particular cover, then just look at the video, and I'll include a picture of it for you with all the dimensions, and you can make your own. Or alternatively, you can contact me and I can probably make one for you if this is a problem that you're facing. So hopefully this has helped you with the problem of a water leakage in a Landcruiser, which is coming out on the passenger side underneath the glove box. I'm assuming, of course, that you've checked all and got rid of all the dirt from the places where you would normally drain the water, but if that's not the case and you've cleared everything else out, and the only option left for you is that when you apply water close to the windscreen for this, that you end up having water going into and underneath your air conditioning unit on the passenger side. Hope to have been of help. Have a nice day. Bye.